Preheat. Start. Okay, engine's running fine. Let me try to use some functions. Function seems to be working fine. Let me see if I can go with some heavier functions. So drive is working fine as well. Okay, so engine's running fine. Let's have a look what's on engine info. Okay, so engine revs a bit low. We should have about 1500, between 15 to 1600 RPM. So that's running on a 13 and 50. So it's a bit low. So that could cause the cutout. So on this machines, if the engine revs drops down below 1000, then it's gonna shut down. Okay. So that could be the reason why it was cutting off. I cannot get this to fail now, but let me try. Let me try to put some load on it, on the engine. Yeah, it's running slightly lower on our revs than I would expect. And I think that's going to be a reason why it's cutting out. Try to get this to fail just to see what's happening, and I want to show you how it's actually going to fail. Okay, so I can't get this to fail on engine side, so it's running fine at the moment. It's just a bit low on revs, and then the revs is being taken from this sensor here, and that's a speed sensor. So I will try to look into it. Maybe there is something wrong with the sensor. I will check on the wirings and make sure that all the plugs are good. But I think what I will try to do, I will try to see the setting of the sensor. If the distance is too far from the flywheel, it may not going to be picking up the speed correctly. And so I'll try to bring the sensor closer to the flywheel, just tiny bit closer, and see if that's going to make a difference, and if the speed is going to change. If not, then the next thing I will do, I will adjust on this ball here, so just to give a bit of more fuel for the idle revs. And we're going to try to keep the engine revs at around the 1500. So under load it will not drop down below 1000 and it should be fine. So the wiring seems to be okay here. I cannot see any problems. I tried to move the sensor. The sensor just wind it in just tiny bit closer. It's like a fifth of the turn, or even less than that. So it's not a lot at all, because the distance between the flywheel and the sensor is about 0.7 mils. So it's very tiny. So let me see what's going to happen now. So I'm going to start the engine. Okay. It's running same. Yeah, okay. So it's running on it is running on the same revs, 1300. So it's not going to be a problem with the sensor. That's fine. That's a good news. So only thing I will do now, I will adjust this bolt right here, so I can get the revs up to 1500. So I did adjust this bolt in, it gone up by half of the turn or so. Not a lot at all. Let's see where we are now. Let's start it up. Okay, so we have about 1570. So much better now. So it's between 1550 and 1600, so that's going to be fine. So I think that's going to solve the problem with the engine cutting out, because there's no other problems here. The fuel lines looks good, the pump is running fine, no problems here. So that should be good to go now. I managed to get the fault now to come up.